We're back at noon. Lisa Briggs with the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. Remember, you can email them to tips@channel3000.com. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Boy, spring has finally sprung.
I think we're almost there.
Oh my gosh, it feels good outside, doesn't it?
I think we're almost stable.
You guys got to be really busy too when all this weather comes in.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy this weekend, and of course, it is the mother of all gardening weekends coming up. Mother's Day weekend.
So what do you have right here in front of us?
So this is an orchid. We have a lot of the moth orchids, you know, which are the big flowers with the rounded petals and the flat leaves. You see them all over the place. This is a butterfly orchid or an oncidium. It's just a little bit more unusual, a little bit more difficult to have it reflower. But the the color combinations are really cool, and most cymbidiums are a little bit fragrant.
You had me sniff it before, and this one's a little lemony.
And they're sort of red-brown ones that smell a little bit like chocolate.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is kind of fun.
I like that.
They're much more exotic looking, I think, than the moth orchids.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the questions today. Both Tom and Jane, we had two people ask the same question. They want to know when it's safe to plant tomatoes, and secondly, how deep should they be planted?
Okay, so I know everybody's ready to go. I would say that I think it's Thursday into Friday. It's going to be down to 43. And tomatoes really don't like to be outside when it's below 45 degrees, along with basil, peppers, coleus, all those super tender things. So keep those, you know, in and out if you've already purchased them until we get past that lower than 45 degrees at night. They would prefer that it would be more consistently 50 degrees.
Kind of historically, Mother's Day weekend was always kind of that.
Yeah, the average last frost date in our area is May 10th to 20th, and Mother's Day usually falls right in the middle of that. Although we have had cold nights frost as late as Memorial Day, so it can happen. So if you're planting them outside, just have some plans on how you protect them. As far as how deep they should be planted, tomatoes are really cool. If you buy small ones, what you want to do is when you take it out of the pot, remove the lower sets of leaves. So there's maybe, I don't know, a couple 3 inches left, and you can plant it that deep, and it will form roots along those little leaf nodes that are buried, and that will make the plant much more stable in the ground. That's especially important if you're planting them in pots, which a lot of people do, myself included.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Lynette in Broadhead. Lynette says, when is the best time to relocate rhubarb?
So rhubarb, the best time to relocate rhubarb is in the spring, just as it's coming out. And at that time, you can dig it up, and with a sharp shovel, you can cut it into pieces and then replant it. Right now, during harvest time, is not really a great time to do it, of course. And if you've got rhubarb and the heat has been making it bolt or set flowers earlier than you would want it to, then just keep cutting back those flowers. Don't let them go. Don't let them open, and then you can harvest for a little bit longer.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, people must be busy today because we only had 2 questions.
Well, 3 actually.
Well, 3.
Yes.
I guess 2 of the same questions. Any other quick advice that you can give for folks as they're getting ready to really get busy in the garden?
Yeah, I would just say that watch the temps at night, especially with sort of tender things. Have a plan, floating row covers or pots that you can put upside down over plants if it does get chilly again at night. And other than that, just enjoy. Enjoy the weather, enjoy being outside. Such a fun time of year.
It's been amazing. My husband and I were talking this weekend. We built a house last summer.
Oh, how
all
exciting.
Of our shrubs are really starting to come in, like big time over the weekend. We looked outside, it's like, where'd they come from? It's like you kind of get excited about that stuff.
I know, I have a big hosta garden in my front yard. It's very shady and no lawn. And it seems like every day I go out in the morning, I count the hostas that are up, and every day there's another 5 or 6 that have emerged. So it's really an exciting time, not only in your garden, but at the garden center, certainly, because last week we got like 18 trucks and semis full of plants, and so that's always really exciting.
It makes
a fun
you smile.
time, like Christmas.
It really is.
It really
All
is.
right, Lisa, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Let's get to Jacob now, the final look at your forecast.